Journal, and we're here today on a special quest. We're here with Tashera Simmons.
Yes.
And she's the ex-wife of DMX. And she's the woman who is very, very brave, and she went through a lot of things and a lot of challenges in her life. She's an excellent mother. She's actually a very big motivator for a lot of women out there. She's the one who actually put together a book, Finding Tashera, and this will be due out this year.
Yes.
And we're here with Christian Ruart.
Hi!
Christian Ruart Group, and we're here to celebrate the power of the woman and the power of saying no and the power to follow up your dreams and move forward.
Follow up your dreams.
So, Tashera, I am so grateful that you're here with us today.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
And I know that you went through a lot of challenges in your life. But to be on a very bright kind of note, could you tell us a little bit more, how did you grow up? What brought you here today?
How I grew up was, which I never talk about it until my book, my challenges started at the age of 14. My mother said she was going to go to the store and didn't return. She was a great mother. She was a seamstress. She taught me a lot about being loyal and morals and just values and just all the important things in life. She was a Muslim as well. She was always dressed in the, you know,
Conservative,
yeah,
the
veil. In the veil. My mother,
veil,
yeah, she used to dress with that, and very humble woman. My father, the total opposite, from Brooklyn. Red Hook projects, but she was Panamanian, so she came from Panama when she was 15, and you know, she just taught us the best she could and what she knew, and she done good until I was 14, and she didn't come back after she went to the store.
Do you know the reason why that happened?
I do. The only reason I'm not going to say anything is it's so juicy and it's in the book, but it's very. It's like a bombshell. I mean, what she left for was insane. But I didn't find out anything until like 6 years later. But that's when my real journey and my challenges started, because my father turned to drugs, and I was the oldest of 7. So I started taking care of my brothers and sisters. So I turned from a little 14-year-old girl to a grown woman overnight. Yeah, seriously. And I had a job at Burger King. I just started working like maybe a month before, so I used to bring, because we had no money, so I used to bring the food and all the leftovers that we had, like meat and stuff, from Burger King. They used to always wait for me. My little brothers and sisters, the youngest was 1. I'm the oldest. It got so bad as the years went on. I remember not having any shoes, no clothing. I mean, it was just crazy. And then when I look back now, it was just my faith in God. And just knowing that this is not it. I know that God must have more for me in life, and I'm just going to keep on staying positive and try to keep doing the right thing, which is so hard to do. It's so easy to do the wrong thing and start like just trying to strip or maybe try to sell myself for money, you know, to take care of my brothers and sisters, but I just always felt like I was worth more than that. And whatever that happened with my mother and father wasn't my problem. I just had to do the right thing, take care of my brothers and sisters, and move on. And then 4 years later, I met DMX.
Now, how did you meet him?
Well, first of all, when I was 11, before my mother left, we had a run-in. We have a real love story, me and DMX. He was a little boy walking by with his dog, and I saw him. I witnessed him taking an old lady's pocketbook. And because my mother was so strict, like we couldn't look at TV, she always made us read. That was like the biggest excitement of my life, to see, like that was like a movie to me. So I always thought about it. And then he saw me when I saw him do that. And then 4 years later, we're at this club and someone says, "Oh, DMX wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Who's that?" Because at that time he had a known name, like, because he was rapping and battling people in Yonkers, but I didn't know about him. And they're like, "Oh, you don't know about DMX? He goes around, he's rapping and this and that, and he wants to meet you. He's a, you know what, like, he's a thing going on." And I'm like, not interested. And after like an hour, he came over to me, introduced himself. As soon as I saw him, I remember he was a boy that I seen. True story. And he remembered me. He knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was. And I knew his name because I asked him, and I said, I was Earl. You don't want to deal with him. He's a bully. He's a problem. You don't never want to deal with a guy like that. And I was more interested, to be honest with you. I guess because I was young, I was like, I need some excitement in my life.
That's right. That's right.
So it made me want to be with someone like that more. But so that's how we met, in a club. And we was inseparable after that. And I was 18 and he was 19.
So Tashera, I want to know, in spite of all the difficulties you went with DMX, I know that you were in love, first of all, right? So that was a very true, I would say, childhood sweetheart story.
Yes.
So tell me what made you both go from feeling so much in love to such a tragic part in your life where you didn't get along, where you were fighting?
Everything was, I wouldn't say perfect, but everything was beautiful up until he got into the industry.
What made him to get in the industry? How soon did he get into the mainstream of artists?
How soon, you mean after we were
After
together?
you were together.
So we were together 10 years before he got in the industry. And when he got in, it was exciting for both of us because he was my best friend. I mean, me and him were like inseparable from day one. I walked with him through the whole past, the situation, like, you know, coming through everything, building a career, exactly, and encouraging him. I was a big inspiration to him. I was always working at a bank and different jobs. I kept growing and growing. He was very inspired by that, but he didn't want to work. His passion was music. And instead of judging him, I supported him. And when, 10 years later down the line, you know, and I held it down. That was my point. And I held it down and I worked and I said, follow your dream. Everybody seems to like being young because you never know. And that dream came true. He met Irv Gotti. Well, he met he met Puff. He met a lot of different people at labels, but they always trying to change him. They said it was too rough in style. Everybody had something to say. And he met Irv. Irv said, give me a minute. I'm going to Def Champs. And when I get in, I'm bringing you right in. The joint was like weeks. And once, I mean, he was offered Belly, like maybe a month after that. I mean, it was like a snowball effect. And I was right there with him. He never tried to keep me away from it. He was always like excited, coming, telling me everything was going on. I was going with him to interviews. So he was a very, very good boyfriend. And before he became a husband, a man to me. And as soon as he got into this industry with the fame and the money, I mean, I never in my life seen somebody transform like that. And like gain the world but lose their soul at the same time.
When was his first like break moment, you would say?
What you mean when he started?
When he really started to be so popular that you kind of had, oh my God, it's a aha moment. He's really, really out there now.
After the first year.
After the first
year, it was just crazy. I mean, we were still going to regular stores and we were just trying to do regular things because that's all we really knew. And I remember the first time we really realized it is when we went to buy some sneakers. And our mob was outside and they had to close the store down. And we had to go out to the back. And he was like, as soon as we got in, he was like, am I really famous? And I'm like, are you really famous? And we just busted out laughing. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? It was crazy. Yeah, it was like, it happened so fast, it was so hard for the brain to comprehend. Like, you know, like, it's just like, it just happened so fast. And then I was just watching. We went from, like, us laughing and, oh my God, to, like, him, like,
graduating to
exactly. A distance from
distance, right. Like, he's still, the love is still there, but it's like, I'm starting to tell him, like, that's not cool. You would never do it like that before. And they don't even really know you. They're just saying, yeah, because they are fans. And even though they're in high positions, they're still a fan. And then he went from, you're right, to, you're hating on me. You don't know. They know. And I'm like, no, I don't know, but I know you. Right. And I know it's wrong from right. I mean, you know, wrong from right, and that's wrong. You would never do that. Exactly. And as more that happened, the more we started, like, but he would still take care of his responsibilities, and I would still be there because he had a lot of trust issues, and he knew that regardless of what he thought, he knew that I was going to be there regardless. Like, I would never betray him.
Like you always will be behind him.
Yeah, regardless of what, even though I don't care what she has to say, but I know that she'll never cross me. Where he knew he couldn't trust the other people. So he was having me there, and I'm just watching him get bigger and bigger and bigger everywhere we went. But he was changing and losing himself, and I was trying to tell him that. And you know what I realized is while he was doing that, I was losing myself. I didn't even realize I was losing myself because I put years and years of energy in him, and I wasn't putting anything in myself. So when me and him, I'm just jumping out, but when we split up, I didn't even know who I was. I love him more than I lose myself.
Absolutely. But also, it is what artists is needed. Like, I think when an artist is becoming famous like that, because it's a transition, and people don't realize how it's a big transition, and that's where artist development is needed. Because you're coming out from regular life and just being through fans and popularity, just becoming a star, and there's a level that's not following. And again, if he, in my opinion, if he had an artist developer, you had somebody to make you graduate.
Yeah.
I think that probably in stages. I think it's very important because a lot of artists nowadays, it's like they have the talent, they're becoming stars, but what about your home education? What about what you're talking is really important. We're not saying it's not great to be a superstar, it's not great to be a celebrity. It is amazing to be a celebrity, but please don't forget where you came from.
He used to have a disguise, a Jamaican thing, where like he used to try like he was Jamaican, but as soon as he opened up his mouth, everybody like, because his voice is so distinct, deep, like sexy DMX under here. He'd have this dreads, like fake wig. It used to be so nice.
If you think it's a collaborative thing, of course it is, you get a lot of attention, but at the same time you can become a little lonely, and you really have to see who your friends are, real friends. Because when you're in the industry like that, you really have to be careful and be able to maintain yourself as a personality and have the humble side of you.
Yep.
And if you had an advice to give an upcoming artist or an upcoming wife or an upcoming person with the shoes that you have, and now, because now I would say the situation has changed from you going to all this situation to we're talking about you, a regular girl, and holding it down to the person of your heart and being a single in your mind, but married and with the whole family, and you have to hold it down, and now you're on the other side. Now you're a celebrity. So how did you maintain that? Tell us that.
Well, I had the best training in the world. I'm telling you, like this part's actually easy now from after what I've been through from my childhood, holding it down with my brothers and sisters. And it's so amazing how God works. It's like he gave me, you know, he gave me all the tools at 14 to be able to handle this situation because unfortunately, DMX has abandoned me and the children.
And you have 4 kids,
and
right?
We have 4 children together. The oldest is 20.
And it's a boy?
Is 7, a boy.
Don't say your age, but you look like you're 20. How could you have?
Gorgeous.
How could you have?
What do you do?
Young kids? What happened? What happened?
What do you do?
Yeah, what you did?
How do you say so beautiful? Very fashionable. You just did photo shoot the.
Getting dome packed, going on body. Everybody that talked about Tashera talking about body. I mean, that's true.
After 4 children.
After 4
And
children.
you were able to maintain yourself through the painful relationships, through the headache and everything else. You came out beautiful inside and out.
You know, and that's really touching to me because I didn't know what I thought I did everything so I won't lose my mind because it was so crazy. I'm gonna tell you, it's God, nothing but God. Like, soon as like that whole thing separated, I was lost. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but automatically I felt like God just came into my heart and said, "This is nothing for you. I've already prepared you from when you were 14." Now you have your own children. You only have 4. Before that was 6 kids I had to take care of. At least I'm a grown woman now. I have a little change somewhere where I can kind of work it out, and I'm telling you, it's just God. Like, I hate to even give the glory to anything else, because that's the first person I went to. I just said, God, please help me. I've never did anything wrong. I always try to be a good wife. You know, I try to be a good person. What do I do? And He just guided me up until now. My health, I've never had any health issues. My children, even though it came a time where I didn't know where I was going to get any money from, I still had faith, and then something would happen. Will just be enough to take care of a bill. And I just kept walking, kept going. And now I'm doing my own things, and I'm being successful at it. And I'm telling you, I feel like as long as you stay true to yourself, I think that's the key. Stay true to yourself and keep God first, and I feel like all your dreams will come true. You just gotta give it time. And let God do His work.
Say that again. Say that
Give
again.
it time.
You just have to give it time and let God do it.
I actually watched you on Celebrity Rehab.
No, couples therapy.
Couples therapy.
Couples therapy, right. But it was, for me, it was like a celebrity rehab, basically.
That's what everybody keeps saying.
Because
It was for relationships.
It was
Oh.
a rehab for relationships.
That's what it was. It was with rehab.
And I realized, you know, he really loved you, but at the same time, he was really, really aggressive. Now, when is the first aggression came around? Because I feel that it's important to people out there to realize when is that transition.
You talk about like aggressive,
Right.
like, yeah, because from the loving man and then you becoming aggressive all of a sudden. Like,
How does that
how did that happen?
Again, because, well, he always had an aggressive personality. Always. But he was always very gentle and kind to me, which that's what I liked about him. But once he started smelling himself and got famous and got money, it felt like nobody could tell him anything, is when the anger came in with me, because I wasn't that yes woman. Everybody, I mean, you could imagine, you can get any woman in the world, sleep with them, and they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. And everybody. And then you got this one woman that you love to death, and I will not break. And trust me, I told him what was right when it was right, but I mean, he turned into a monster. I'm serious, and that's why, like you said, maybe that would have helped if he would have had somebody to guide him. But we were so young, we were only 22, and we didn't even know there was we were just doing the best that we can, and I used to try to help him through it, but again, he comes from a lot of childhood issues and a lot of love issues. So with all that attention and affection, yeah, it was just.
So you think that's the key? And I don't know if you've had this in your life, Christian, when you're growing up in a very difficult environment with your family that builds
It's
up.
affects you. I mean, I didn't have that, but just the fact that I, due to my background, I was doing booking, and you get a young adult, you get a young adult, and you work with them to a certain matter, and then all of a sudden they're making more money than their household. They be more popular. Yeah, this definitely is affecting psychologically. This is affecting because they don't have any progression. There is no progression within their life, and I understand the way and the why. I understand totally, and I would never point fingers, because this is where certain gap, like, people don't understand this, like, it's important to follow. It's just like a child. Having an artist is just like you have a child. You have to give that child a hand from the first day that child was born to the 18 years. So basically 18 years of your life. And having an artist, having a lover, having a husband, having a friend, having anybody that's going to be close to you, you're going to have to put in time. You're going to have to put, psychologically, you're going to have to put time. Manually, you're going to have to hold their hands and teach them certain things. And again, everyone needs a guidance, which in whatever work, whatever you do. You buy a house, you definitely need to maintain it. And I mean, and again, I'm not going to be pointing fingers at anyone. It's amazing. It's an amazing, I won't say story. It's very inspiring, because here in under the line of Tashera's words is to give you encouragement for you to get out with it, to learn how you could work with it.
And then I know you have an organization for feeding women
from women of strength, in which I've gotta be honest, I haven't been able to really attack and give my 100% to it because I'm so busy building Tashera Simmons' brand.
Which will help them as well.
Which will help as well,
yes,
exactly. You're going to be getting more powerful.
Exactly.
So,
and then when is the time to say no? Like if something is wrong, like when is the time to finally say, no, I'm not putting up with this any longer? When is
you know
it
what?
up?
I mean,
I
should have maybe said no. So like...
Is it because of love?
Because of love.
What do you think holds you back and you still think, I love him so much, I cannot go back?
Oh, that's why I can't go back? Yeah, the reason why I can't go back is because I do love myself so much that I will never, like, put myself in that again.
In this situation.
In that situation again, like, and there's women that I've met that said, he can't help it, they love that person so much. And there were years, I mean, because it's been 8 years now, almost, but it took me 4 years to get over it. And 4 long years, and now I could really say that it was, you know how hard that was to actually be so in love with somebody that's all you ever knew, and in those 4 years, I was just like, God, I love it. That's all I kept telling myself, like, you deserve better, you deserve better. You have to tell yourself that you deserve better.
You have to convince
yourself. You gotta
convince yourself that you have to move on.
Yeah, that you have to. Or you will really
you have
just
to let that love go. You have to let that love go. You have to move on.
Remember what I said, it's easy to do right?
It's easy.
I mean, it's hard to do right, but it's so easy to do wrong.
It's actually, it's faster to, it's
easier
to do wrong.
It's easier to do wrong.
Yeah.
And harder to just do
harder to do right. Harder to do
you
right.
have that temptation, you're like, I really love him, but I really want to stay. And then he hurts you back again, and then again you're a wreck and you want to get out of that situation. So there's a time where I said, I have to move forward, and I have to leave everything behind.
Yeah, and that's what I did. And but you know what? I did it for myself, but definitely for the children. Because I realized that that's my responsibility and who they are as people when you grow up. Exactly, and I said, you know what, Tashera, you gotta walk away from this because you want to stop this generational curse.
And how do you think it's affecting them in a way that it would change your whole atmosphere? Where did you realize that it's really hitting Bruce so hard?
Well, you know what, I realized it when my 20-year-old was 14 years old. And yeah, I went into his room because we had just had a big argument. And that's the thing, like I used to, after arguments, I used to hope that nobody heard, which his voice traveled, but I used to always try not to argue.
Want to keep it safe.
Yeah. So I went to my son's room, which is on the other side of the house, and I said, hey, what are you doing? He was in here working out. He was like, I'm getting big and strong, so that when the next time I hear my father talks to you like that, I'm going to kill him. So then he said it was like so much rage and anger. And I promise you that later on that night when his father came home, I said, you gotta go. I didn't, because he was already going, his drug habit was really bad. I thought I was doing something by staying with him, keeping the kids, the family together, but I realized it was making it worse.
So you have to cut it down. And actually sometimes it's better when you let it go.
Yeah.
Especially
for the
kids.
Best thing for the kids, oh my gosh. And now the little ones, thank God, because I made that decision. The little ones were saved because they don't know anything else. He was always going anyway from traveling. So now they just think like, oh, he's a traveler. And my father's with me and he's being like the man role model, the 20-year-old. So, I mean, they still have a little like, you know, asking and stuff, but it's nothing what it could have been. You know, where they don't feel loved or they feel like they could talk to women like that. Because I have 3 boys, I don't want them to ever talk to a woman like that. Exactly. Ever.
So not to take the pattern of that father.
Of their father, exactly. That's why I said the
which will bring more and more angry situations in the future for new generations.
Yep, and that's why I said the generational curse. I stopped it, thank God. And my 20-year-old is very respectful, and he's doing the opposite. He wants, like sometimes, you know, when boys be around that, they wind up being their father, but he's not. He's like, Mom, I wanna treat women the way they're supposed to be treated. He expresses this to me, and it makes me like my heart cry sometimes. I'm like, God, you know, and that's where it goes back to when you keep doing the right things around you, God blesses you.
Yes.
You know, and takes care of your children.
Now, what do you think is the first step if the woman out there, they are debating to leave or stay? What do you think is the first clue for them? And what do you think is the first action that they should take?
I think the first clue that a woman should know not to stay in a dysfunctional relationship is when the man doesn't care too much about their feelings and their thoughts. Believe it or not, because when they're so self-centered that what's really important to the woman doesn't mean anything to them. Because any real man would care. I'm not even going to make it abusive. It doesn't, and I shouldn't even make it about just women or men. It could go both ways. Even if a man is, because I have a lot of men fans, so I don't want to only make it about women.
Right.
Like there's women that's controlling and don't care about, you know, it's the same thing. So it's like, I feel like in a relationship period, if you realize that you're with someone that doesn't even care about your inner thoughts and how you feel, I think that's a sign, because I always realized that from we were kids. Everything was always about him, everything. And because I'm such a nurturer, and I'm like, oh, I'm laid back, I'm like, whatever makes you happy. It just got out of control. And then he didn't even understand when I used to say, you don't care about me, like, what about what I feel? And he was just like, you're being selfish, you're being like a big baby, I give you everything. And he didn't never understood that, because yeah, exactly. So I feel like that's the first step. I mean, the first sign that, you know what, either you know what, because where I went wrong is I didn't address it right then and there. So I feel like to give advice to another woman that's like me, or man that's very passive and whatever, they should, if they have someone in a relationship that is about I, yeah, you need to address it. And if they come off at you and whatever, I think you should walk away.
Yeah.
It's
walk away.
It's a
walk away.
It's a walk away situation.
It is, because it's not going to go anywhere. You're never going to really have a voice. I lost my voice in a relationship like that.
So you kind of like, you know, behind the whole scene of it, and I know, Christian, you're dealing with a lot of models, and I know your fashion industry is also very brutal. So now I know that in this industry, you know, models and artists get abused, right?
Yes.
So what is your advice for people out there, and to Tashera, because she is actually on this path of the fame as well. So what is the advice for you not to let the industry abuse you, or as a model, as an inspiring and upcoming artist? As a person, period, because understand, you're in a business where at the end of the day it's all about money. At the end of the day is how much money you can make from you. So if you were a team, when you have a team, it's harder to take advantage of you because you have people that would advise you. But then you have artists, or you have models, or you have, you know, celebrity, uprising celebrity, that think in their head that it's all them. So they are alone. So, you know, all the fame come because it's them. They don't understand that sometimes it takes a team. You have to have that team. And when that team builds you up, then you could get the advice from where. You don't need to rush. It's not the faster you go, it's the how long you stay. You know? So my advice to everyone, couples, artists, whatever you do in life, take your time. And Tashera, what is your words of wisdom to people out there, to mothers, to fathers, for keeping home?
Foster homes and all that.
Because I know you've been through so much, and just like I see
So I'm trying to
so
sum it
much
up.
wisdom on you that
I know, and I'm like,
how to put it like in one sentence.
and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like going through everything, like how
And it's like you have a fast rerun of your life real quick.
You're right though. You know what? I'm just trying to think of how I kept going.
If you would have a choice, would you have a different life, or what you would have this life?
I would do it all over again. It was, when I tell you that I feel so good that I went through what I went through, because now the challenges that God sends me is like a piece of cake. I mean, it's like nothing. I just feel like standing so strong. And one thing I could definitely advice I could give women, men, young, everyone is never give up on yourself and your dreams, because I mean the devil can have it looking one way, and like I wouldn't change a thing, because everything that happened, it made me who I am today. And that's why now, because I'm still dealing with challenges. I mean, the challenges just keep coming and it's coming stronger, but because of what happened and what I've overcame in my past, this is like a piece of cake when I tell you. And for the average, they look at me like, how do you deal with that? And I mean, I don't even know if I should bring that up, but it's real though. It's in my book. I was gonna lose my house. Like, I was left with this big house that I obviously, you know, if he's not helping me with, I can't afford it. And, you know, they came and they said that they were going to take it. And I was just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I've been through worse. What do I need to do? Get in contact with the right people, and I'm still in my house today. So it's like, it made me who I am today, this strong woman that's ready for whatever. So moving forward, I'm just happy where I am today. I'm happy that I stayed true to myself and to God first. And so I feel very honored to be part of PopImpressKA, because it's about something. I'm all about substance. I don't like just doing things that just has no meaning and it's not going to go anywhere. And I feel like my words are going to get very far in this interview. So I feel very, very honored to be a part of PopImpressKA, and I'm excited. I love Christian.
Powerful woman, you see?
Yeah.
My word is gonna go somewhere. Watch out.
It's gonna go.
Watch out.
This was the point.
Somewhere.
Yes. This is what we're doing. We're doing God's work, all of us, to help and encourage our people in all colors, shapes, and sizes.
And thank you very much, and stay tuned for more. Christian, Tashera, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
PopImpressKA!
So,
This is Curtis.
this is Curtis. And Curtis is going to tell us the name of the studio, and he's going to tell us what we do here, well, how to find it.
True Stories. True Story Studios on 109th, West 27th Street. Full operation, full production, music, films, video production studio. www.truestoriesproduction.com. 718-902-2431 in the heart of Chelsea, 2 blocks away from Madison Square Garden, down the block from Fashion Institute.